Hey y'all, so today we're going to be reviewing Hotel Transylvania Transformania, the fourth installment in the Hotel Transylvania series, which can you believe this series has been around for 10 years? It's been 10 years since the original Hotel Transylvania released. That's quite a monstrous legacy. No, okay. Oh, it's too far. Here's what the movie is about. When Johnny finds out that Drac doesn't want to turn the hotel over to him and Mavis because Johnny isn't a monster, Johnny finds a way to transform himself and in the process accidentally transforms all the monster residents of Hotel Transylvania into humans. Drac and Johnny must then go in search of a cure for their hilarious place swapping mistake before it is too late. This movie was a fun one. I wasn't expecting to get a screener of this, to be honest. I did not even know that there was a new Hotel Transylvania movie coming out. I knew there had been one, I knew there had been two, I vaguely remembered three, even though I never saw three. Now we're on four. What's a little strange about this one is that some of the actors have changed, but the roles are stayed the same. And in this movie specifically, Adam Sandler, who was one of the initial creative parties involved with Hotel Transylvania, and he was the voice of Drac, obviously, he has removed himself from the series, from the franchise. He is still a producer on it, so it's not like creative differences or anything. He just said that he is done voicing the character, which I can respect, and I do have to say that the new actor, whose name I will put on the screen here, does a really great job still embodying the comedy of Drac and giving a really good accent to where, yes, it doesn't sound as Adam Sandler-like as it would if Adam Sandler was playing Dracula, but that wasn't like an issue for me at any point in the movie, and it was fun to return to kind of the cast of the rest of the monsters, Drac's crew, if you will. Hearing Steve Buscemi and Keegan-Michael Key, those were just really fun to get back to, and of course Selena Gomez and Andy Samberg were wonderful in their respective roles as Mavis and Johnny. Well, this movie is one that definitely does not require you to see any of the others. This is a pretty self-enclosed plot, and even the first 10 minutes of this movie kind of recap anything you might need to know about Drac's relationship to the hotel, why he may not be as willing to give it up and go into retirement as it would seem he should, and kind of his relationship with Mavis, which of course is what is attached to the hotel, but isn't as much explored in the rest of the movie. But I will say there are a couple characters, namely Drac's wife or girlfriend, who I did not know existed, and then some of the characters that Johnny and Mavis's son, he has a friend or a pet that I was not necessarily familiar with. I'm not speaking about the werewolf's daughter. That's not who I'm talking about, but there's a dog thing that I was not familiar with, and Van Helsing, who lives in the basement and is supposedly the great-grandfather of Drac's wife. These were characters I was not familiar with. So if you want to go into this knowing completely everything, watch maybe number 3, because that at least establishes the new characters in this one, but for the most part, not really narrative information that you need to have. This movie, like most animated films, has some really sweet and touching moments, and I really liked the overall theme of never changing who you are and also learning to accept yourself and other people for exactly who they are in this moment, because of course the conflict at the center of the series has always been humans and monsters. Are there more similarities than differences? And this series wants to tell you yes, there are, but of course Johnny is constantly seeking approval from Drac, Mavis wants him to stay exactly the same, and Drac also kind of wishes that maybe Johnny was a monster, and there's sort of those elements at play. And I do think that for Drac, spoiler alert, being sort of the cause of why some of these monsters are transformed and these places of human and monster are swapped, I think he does kind of get his reckoning at the end of the story to kind of give a good lesson, especially with this being a movie targeted towards younger audiences. That kind of shows okay, you can't just do bad things or hurt other people potentially and cause major issues and then expect everything to work out perfectly for you. I won't spoil what that is, but there were a lot of moments where I wish that this movie would have dug its fangs a little deeper into the messages or thought-provoking themes. At every time that this film was about to get a little deeper, there would just be some slapstick comedy, and this movie has a lot more of it than I remember the others having. There are parts of this that are just so kiddish in their humor, and that makes it a little bit less enjoyable for more mature audiences. For example, there's the Invisible Man, who we find out in this is naked all the time, and when he transforms into his human form, we see that. And so there are far too many of the Invisible Man's butt shots in this film, even up until the last shot of the movie is that. So that was something that was a little okay, did not expect expect for that to be it. If you're looking, parents, for a movie that is a little bit more palatable for you, this one definitely is a lot more kiddish, and you might have to wait for a more mature, deeper film than this one. I definitely think all of those elements make it just appeal far more to younger audiences and sort of miss the older demographic that a lot of other animated films make it an effort to reach and appeal to. I do have to say, I think the initial premise for this movie was really fun and fresh. Of course, it kept with the theme of monsters and humans that the series has always explored, but it did a really fun job really just saying, okay, well, what if we could do this? What if we could switch who the humans are, who the monsters are? And that was really fun. I really enjoyed seeing Johnny in monster form, and likewise, I really loved seeing the designs for each of the different monster characters in human form. I think it's hilarious that Frankenstein has this beautiful body and this gorgeous head of hair that, of course, he does not have when he's in his monster form. I also felt like the Mummy was really funny to be this really old saggy man that has a hard time moving around when Mummy moves around so much in this series. And I specifically really loved Drax's design because when he's in his human form, we see not only his age show a lot more, but his features are a lot less sharp. They're much more softened, and he's just a little more rough around the edges, and I think that made it really easily distinguish that he was a human. If kids somehow missed that explicit messaging in the beginning, the visuals there are just really fun. I also felt like there was a slightly different animation style to this film. It was a little bit more cartoonish, and in certain parts, specifically when Johnny and Drac are in the human world trying to get a taxi, that's all I'll say. It looks almost slightly like it's a 2D animation or has a 2D rendering on top of like a 3D design. Obviously, the movie is 3D animation, and not all of the scenes feel like that, but I felt like there were some unique twists of the style that this movie took that were really nice and were complemented by the color palette of this movie, which was a lot more vibrant and saturated than some of the other Hotel Transylvania movies. Overall, I think this is a really sweet movie and a fun inclusion into the Hotel Transylvania franchise. However, I don't feel like it's as mature as other animated films have started to become in either its themes, its messagings, or what the characters are dealing with. I also just wish it would have gone a little bit deeper with some of the surface level topics that they were discussing, but I don't think that makes it any less fun of a movie to watch. It's very easy, lighthearted, as a good Hotel Transylvania movie should be, and so I think it would be really enjoyable. Checking it out on Amazon I don't think is a bad call by any means. I think it's a fun family watch, but not one that's going to like really resonate with you in a way that other animated movies sometimes do. Thank you all so much for watching. Please let me know in the comments down below what you thought about this movie or what your expectations are for the future of Hotel Transylvania, whether that be this movie or potential sequelizations, because they've been going for 10 years. I don't know why they would stop. Please be sure to like this review if you did enjoy it, and consider subscribing if you liked this review, because I do plenty of these film reviews as well as television and entertainment related content that you won't want to miss. Thank you all again so much for watching. Have an absolutely amazing day or night whenever you're getting to watch this, and I will see you in my very next video. Bye y'all.